more than 700 meters beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean, in a place where sunlight has never reached and darkness dominates every direction, a discovery was made that would ignite one of the most debated underwater mysteries of the modern era. The expedition had not been searching for lost civilizations, ancient cities, or evidence of forgotten history. Its objective was far more practical. A professional survey team working under a Cuban government contract was conducting a search for the remains of historic Spanish shipwrecks believed to have carried valuable cargo across the Caribbean centuries ago. Equipped with advanced side-scan sonar systems, deep-water survey equipment, and remotely operated vehicles capable of descending into extreme depths, the crew expected to spend weeks examining routine geological formations and perhaps locating fragments of old wreckage. Instead, what appeared on their monitors forced everyone on board to reconsider what might be hidden beneath the ocean floor. The mission, led by marine engineer Polina Zalitsky and her company Advanced Digital Communications, began like countless other underwater surveys. Sonar scans revealed the expected landscape of sediment, scattered rock formations, and uneven terrain. Hours turned into days as technicians carefully reviewed data and mapped the seabed. Then, during a routine scan, something unusual appeared. At first it looked like a cluster of bright reflections on the sonar display, but closer examination revealed patterns that seemed strangely organized. Long straight lines appeared where random geological features should have been. Several shapes appeared rectangular. Some seemed aligned in parallel rows. Most surprising of all, shadows extended behind the objects, suggesting that whatever was generating the sonar returns was elevated above the surrounding seafloor. Experienced sonar operators immediately suspected an equipment error. The area was scanned again from a different angle. The same shapes appeared. Gain settings were adjusted. Frequencies were changed. Additional passes were conducted from multiple directions. Yet every scan produced nearly identical results. The patterns remained consistent. The straight lines remained visible. The shadows persisted. As the evidence accumulated, the atmosphere aboard the vessel began to change. What had started as a search for treasure now seemed to be revealing something entirely unexpected. To determine whether the sonar images represented reality or some unusual artifact of the technology, the team decided to deploy a remotely operated vehicle. Descending to a depth of approximately 700 meters is not a trivial task. At that depth, pressure exceeds 70 times that experienced at sea level. Any failure of the vehicle could result in its permanent loss. Every cable, camera, light, and control system was carefully inspected before deployment. Once the vehicle entered the water, operators watched as it slowly descended through layers of diminishing light. Fish disappeared. Colors faded. Eventually, only darkness remained. The ROV's powerful floodlights became the only source of illumination. As the vehicle approached the seabed, anticipation filled the control room. Then, emerging from the darkness, something appeared. Initially, it looked like a large flat surface. Moments later, another appeared beside it. Then, another. As the vehicle moved closer, details became clearer. The structures seemed unusually geometric. Straight edges emerged from the shadows. Corners appeared sharply defined. Massive block-like formations stretched across the seafloor. Some seemed positioned in rows. Others appeared separated by nearly equal distances. The surfaces looked smoother than many natural formations typically found at such depths. Crew members stared silently at the monitors. Nobody rushed to conclusions, but nobody could ignore what they were seeing. The scale of the formations only added to the mystery. Some blocks appeared enormous, dwarfing the remotely operated vehicle itself. The deeper the exploration continued, the more difficult it became to dismiss the possibility that something unusual lay on the ocean floor. Yet extraordinary discoveries require extraordinary scrutiny. The team understood that appearances can be deceiving, particularly underwater. Nature is capable of creating formations that often resemble human construction. The first explanation considered involved ocean currents and erosion. Over immense periods of time, moving water can sculpt rock into remarkable shapes. However, erosion typically produces irregular patterns rather than repeated straight lines and apparent symmetry. The second possibility involved volcanic activity. In some regions, cooling lava forms geometric structures that can appear artificial. Famous examples around the world demonstrate how natural geology can mimic architecture. Yet the formations visible in the footage lacked some of the characteristics commonly associated with volcanic structures. Their apparent organization seemed difficult to explain through that process alone. A third theory focused on tectonic activity. Shifting geological plates can fracture rock and create linear features. This explanation appeared more plausible, but questions remained. Tectonic forces can crack and separate rock, yet they rarely create arrangements that appear evenly spaced or systematically aligned. The more researchers examined the imagery, the more uncertain the situation became. Importantly, no credible scientist stepped forward and declared the structures proof of a lost civilization. At the same time, few experts dismissed the discovery outright. Marine researchers emphasized caution. Some argued that unusual formations should be investigated thoroughly before conclusions are drawn. Others noted that underwater geology frequently surprises observers unfamiliar with the incredible variety of natural processes shaping the seafloor. Skeptics pointed out that sonar technology, while powerful, does not provide perfect representations of reality. Sound waves can create misleading images depending on angle, resolution, and environmental conditions. Rocks arranged by chance can sometimes appear organized when viewed through sonar data. Human perception itself introduces another challenge. The brain is naturally programmed to recognize patterns, often finding order where none exists. This tendency has led people throughout history to perceive faces in clouds, structures in mountains, and artificial designs in entirely natural landscapes. Critics therefore argued that the Bermuda discovery required much stronger evidence before any claims of ancient construction could be taken seriously. And therein lies the greatest obstacle to solving the mystery. Despite the excitement surrounding the images, crucial scientific evidence remains absent. No rock samples were collected from the site and subjected to laboratory analysis. No isotope dating was performed to determine the age of the formations. No drilling operations were conducted to investigate what lay beneath the visible structures. Without such evidence, science cannot move beyond speculation. Images alone, no matter how intriguing, cannot establish the existence of an ancient civilization. Yet the mystery persists because of a simple question. If the formations are not entirely natural, how did they reach such depths? 700 meters below sea level is far deeper than the coastal flooding associated with the end of the last ice age. Any civilization responsible for constructing such structures would have existed in a period of history far older than any currently recognized advanced culture. This possibility has inspired theories ranging from forgotten prehistoric societies to legends resembling Atlantis. Most archaeologists remain skeptical of such ideas, noting that no supporting evidence has emerged elsewhere. Nevertheless, the possibility continues to capture imaginations because so much of the ocean remains unexplored. Vast regions of the seafloor have never been examined in detail. Entire landscapes remain hidden beneath water, beyond the reach of casual observation. Whether the Cuban underwater structures represent a remarkable geological formation or something more extraordinary remains unresolved. More than 2 decades after their discovery, they continue to provoke debate among researchers, explorers, and enthusiasts around the world. The footage remains real. The sonar data exists. The questions remain unanswered. Perhaps future expeditions equipped with more advanced technology will finally determine the true nature of what lies on that dark ocean floor. Until then, the mystery endures, suspended between science and speculation, reminding us that even in the 21st century there are still places on Earth capable of challenging what we think we know about our planet and its history.